There's something the Vatican guards discovered every single morning for 27 years. Something so consistent, so sacred, that when Pope John Paul II passed away, they revealed it to the world. And what they found will completely change the way you think about sleep, about prayer, and about spiritual protection. Stay with me, because what I'm about to share could transform your nights forever. Every morning, without fail, the guards would enter the papal bedroom and find the same thing. Pope John Paul II Rosary, still clutched in his hands. Even in sleep, even in his most vulnerable moments, he never let go. This wasn't a coincidence. This wasn't just habit. This was intentional spiritual warfare. And he knew something that most of us have forgotten. You see, sleep isn't just rest. It's not just your body shutting down for 8 hours. There's a spiritual dimension to the night that we've lost touch with. The early Christians knew it. The saints knew it. And Pope John Paul II lived it every single day of his life. He understood that when we sleep, we're at our most vulnerable. Our defenses are down. Our minds are unguarded. And that's exactly when spiritual attacks are most effective. Have you ever woken up at 3 in the morning with unexplained anxiety? Have you ever had nightmares that felt too real, too dark, too specific? Have you ever felt that heaviness in your bedroom, that sense that something unseen is present? You're not imagining it. You're experiencing what spiritual warriors have known for centuries. The night is a battlefield. Pope John Paul II faced assassination attempts. He lived through World War II and communism. He knew evil intimately. And his weapon of choice? Not bodyguards, not security systems. A simple string of beads, the Rosary. He called it his spiritual armor. And every night, he put on that armor before closing his eyes. Now I know what some of you might be thinking. I'm not Catholic. Or, I don't even pray the Rosary. Or, isn't that just superstition? Stay with me, because what I'm about to explain transcends denominations. This is about spiritual protection. This is about peace. This is about transforming the darkest hours of your life into moments of grace. Let me tell you about Margaret. She was 71 years old, living in Ohio. She'd been a Protestant her whole life, faithful, church-going, believing. But she'd never touched a rosary. Never even considered it. Then her daughter died. Suddenly. Car accident. And Margaret's world collapsed. She couldn't sleep. The doctors gave her pills. Ambien, Lunesta, everything. Nothing worked. She'd lie awake for hours, replaying that phone call, seeing her daughter's face, drowning in grief. The insomnia lasted for months. She lost weight, lost hope, lost her will to keep going. One afternoon, her Catholic neighbor, Maria, came over with soup. They sat in the kitchen, and Margaret broke down. "I can't sleep," she sobbed. "Every night is torture. I close my eyes and all I see is darkness." Maria reached into her pocket and pulled out a worn rosary. "My grandmother gave me this," she said quietly. "When I lost my husband, I couldn't sleep either. Then I started holding this at night. Just holding it. You don't even have to pray if you don't want to. Just hold it." Margaret looked at those beads like they were from another planet. But she was desperate. That night, she took the rosary to bed. She didn't know the prayers. Didn't know the mysteries. She just held it. Squeezed it in her fist. And whispered, "God, if you're there, help me sleep." And she slept. 6 hours straight. No pills. No nightmares. Just deep, peaceful sleep. She woke up crying. Not from sadness this time. From relief. From something she couldn't explain but could feel. A presence. A comfort. Like someone was watching over her. That was 3 years ago. Margaret still sleeps with that rosary every night. She learned the prayers. She became Catholic 2 years later. And she tells everyone who'll listen, "That string of beads saved my life." Now, let me explain what's really happening here. Because this isn't magic. This isn't superstition. There's a spiritual reality that our modern world has tried to rationalize away. But it's still there. Still active. Still very real. When you sleep with a rosary, you're doing several things. First, you're making a conscious act of faith. You're saying, I trust God to protect me. That act of surrender is powerful. It shifts your spiritual posture from fear to trust. Second, you're invoking Mary's protection. Now, even if you're not Catholic, understand this. Throughout Christian history, Mary has been seen as the ultimate intercessor, the mother who never stops praying for her children. When you hold that rosary, you're asking for her maternal protection. Third, and this is crucial, you're creating what the ancient church called a sacramental. It's a physical object that carries spiritual significance. Just like a wedding ring represents a covenant, a rosary represents your connection to divine protection. It's a tangible reminder that you're not alone in the darkness. Pope John Paul II understood this deeply. In his private writings, he talked about how the rosary was his companion in the darkest night. When he was shot in 1981, when he lay in that hospital bed, what do you think he held? The rosary. When the Parkinson's disease ravaged his body in his final years, what brought him comfort? The rosary. It wasn't just a religious practice. It was his lifeline. Let me give you practical steps because I want you to experience this tonight. Not next week. Not when you feel more spiritual. Tonight. Here's exactly what to do. First, get a rosary. If you don't have one, you can order one online or visit any Catholic church and ask. They'll give you one for free. Yes, really. Churches have been giving rosaries away for centuries. Don't worry about it being fancy or expensive. A simple plastic rosary works just as powerfully as one made of precious stones. Second, if possible, have it blessed. Take it to a church and ask a priest to bless it. This isn't magical thinking. It's asking for God's special grace to rest upon this object. If you can't get it blessed right away, that's okay. Start using it anyway. The important thing is your faith, not the formality. Third, tonight, before you go to bed, sit on the edge of your mattress. Hold the rosary in your hands. Feel the weight of it. Look at the cross. If you know how to pray the rosary, pray at least 1 decade. If you don't know how, that's okay. Just hold it and pray in your own word. Say something like this: God, I'm tired. I'm vulnerable. I need your protection tonight. Watch over me while I sleep. Keep the darkness away. Let me wake up refreshed and at peace. Then lie down. Put the rosary in your hand. Some people hold it in their right hand, others in their left. Some wrap it around their wrist. There's no wrong way. Just make sure you can feel it. Be aware of its presence. As you drift off to sleep, keep repeating silently, Jesus, I trust in you, or Mary, watch over me. Simple words, repeated gently, like a lullaby for your soul. Now, here's what might happen. The first night, you might not notice much difference. That's normal. This isn't a magic spell. It's a spiritual practice. But if you do this consistently, night after night, you'll start to notice changes. Your sleep will become deeper. Those 3 a.m. anxiety attacks will diminish. Nightmares will fade. And a sense of peace, a peace you can't quite explain, will settle over your nights. Pope John Paul II also had a special devotion to his guardian angel. Every night, before sleeping with his rosary, he'd pray, Angel of God, my guardian dear, to whom God's love commits me here, ever this night be at my side, to light and guard, to rule and guide. Amen. He prayed it with the simplicity of a child. Because even a pope needs to know he's protected. Even the most powerful spiritual leader in the world needed that reassurance. You have the same right. You have the same angel. You're never alone. Even in the darkest night, even when you feel abandoned by everyone, there's an angel who never leaves your side. There's a God who loves you infinitely. And the rosary in your hands is the thread that connects you to that divine reality. Some people might tell you this is outdated, that modern people don't need these old practices. Don't listen to them. The spiritual world hasn't changed. Evil hasn't evolved, and neither have the weapons we need to fight it. Saints throughout history have used the Rosary. Not because they were superstitious, but because they were wise. They understood that prayer isn't just words. It's power. Let me tell you something Pope John Paul II once said. The Rosary is my favorite weapon. Think about that. Not political influence. Not theological argument. A string of beads. That's what he chose to fight evil. That's what he trusted more than anything else. And if it was good enough for a saint who changed the world, maybe it's good enough for us. Here's something beautiful that happens when you make this a habit. After a few weeks, you'll find that you can't sleep without it. It becomes as natural as breathing, as necessary as water. There will be nights when, if you forget to grab your rosary, you'll feel something's missing. You'll feel incomplete. And that's the sign that grace has worked in you. That's the sign that this practice has become part of who you are. Now, maybe you're wondering, what if I drop the rosary during the night? What if I fall asleep and let go? Don't worry. God looks at your intention, not your performance. If you start with it in your hand and release it in sleep, that's perfectly fine. What matters is that you began with faith. What matters is that you made that gesture of trust. God completes the rest. Some people tie the rosary around their wrist to avoid losing it. That works too. Do whatever feels right for you. There are no rigid rules here. What counts is your heart. Always your heart. This isn't about checking boxes. It's about relationship. It's about saying to God, I want to be close to you, even in sleep. And here's the last thing I want to tell you. Tomorrow morning, when you open your eyes, the first thing you should do is give thanks. Thank God for watching over you. Thank Mary for her protection. Thank your guardian angel for standing guard. And kiss the rosary that stayed with you all night. Kiss it with affection, with gratitude, with love. Pope John Paul II did exactly that. The moment he woke up, still in bed, he'd bring the rosary to his lips. It was his first act of the day. Before getting up, before washing, before anything else. A kiss on the rosary. A kiss for Mary. A way of saying, thank you, Mother. Thank you for this night. Thank you for this new day you've given me. You know what's beautiful? When this becomes part of your life, when sleeping with the rosary becomes your normal, you'll discover that you can't live without it anymore. It becomes like food for the body. Essential, vital, irreplaceable. There will be nights when, if for some reason you can't pray the rosary, you'll feel an emptiness. You'll feel that something's not in its place. And that's the sign that grace has transformed you. That's the sign that Mary has won your heart. That's the sign that you've truly become a child of the Rosary. Pope John Paul II used to say, "The Rosary is not a burden, it's a wing." And he was right. It's not an obligation that crushes. It's a grace that lifts. It's a joy that fills the heart. So tonight, when you turn off the lights, when you lie down in bed, when you close your tired eyes after a long day, remember everything I've told you. Remember that you're not alone. Remember that protection is available. Remember that the rosary in your hands is the most powerful shield against every evil. And as you drift into sleep, as consciousness fades, as you enter that mysterious world of rest, hold tight to those beads. Hold them like a child holds their mother's hand. Hold them like a sailor holds a life raft. Hold them the way Pope John Paul II held them every single night of his life. And sleep in peace. Sleep knowing your love. Sleep under Mary's protection. Sleep in God's grace. Because that's what sleeping with the Rosary gives you. That's the gift Pope John Paul II wants to share with you. That's the secret that can completely transform your spiritual life. In his final years, when Parkinson's disease had reduced him to a shadow of what he'd been, Pope John Paul II still prayed the Rosary every night. His hands trembled. Words came with difficulty. But he never stopped, never surrendered, because he knew that was his strength. He knew that without the Rosary, without Mary, he couldn't face the suffering. And when he finally closed his eyes for the last time, on April 2, 2005, he was holding his Rosary. He died the way he lived. He died praying. He died entrusted to Mary. And I'm certain, absolutely certain, that Mary was there to receive him. That she took his hand and led him to Jesus, saying, "Here is my son. Here is the Pope who loved me so much. Here is the one who taught the world the power of the Rosary." You too, when your hour comes, can die that way. You can close your eyes with a rosary in hand. You can face the passage with serenity, knowing Mary accompanies you. You can say like Pope John Paul II, "Totus tuus," all yours, Mary, and she'll take your hand. She'll guide you through the dark valley. She'll bring you home to the Father's house. But until that day, until that final moment, the Rosary will be your daily strength. It will be your comfort in difficult nights. It will be your joy in moments of grace. It will be the golden thread that binds earth to heaven, time to eternity, your smallness to God's immensity. Don't let this opportunity pass. Don't let this video end without making a decision. A decision to change. A decision to grow spiritually. A decision to live with the Rosary the way Pope John Paul II lived with it. Tonight, start. Tonight, take that Rosary. Tonight, entrust yourself to Mary. And you'll see. I promise you'll see. If you've made it this far, it's because your heart is searching for something greater, something deeper, something truer. And I'm telling you, don't let that desire go unsatisfied. Don't let that longing of your soul die without an answer. Tonight is the night. Tonight is when everything changes. I don't know you. I don't know who you are. I don't know what story you carry in your heart. But I know one thing. God loves you. Mary loves you. And the Rosary can change your life. These aren't empty words. These aren't exaggerated promises. This is the truth that millions of Catholics have experienced through the centuries. This is the truth that Pope John Paul II lived every day of his existence. This is the truth that you too can make your own. So tonight, when you turn off the light, when you lie down in bed, when you close tired eyes after a long day, remember everything I've told you. Remember you're not alone. Remember that Mary watches over you. Remember that the Rosary in your hands is the most powerful shield against all evil. And as you slip into sleep, as awareness fades, as you enter that mysterious world of nocturnal rest, hold the Rosary tight. Hold it like a child holds mother's hand. Hold it like a shipwrecked survivor holds the plank of salvation. Hold it the way Pope John Paul II held it every night of his life. And sleep in peace. Sleep in the certainty of being loved. Sleep in the protection of Mary's mantle. Sleep in God's grace. Because this is what the nighttime Rosary gives you. This is the gift that Pope John Paul II wants to give you. This is the secret that can completely transform your spiritual life. Thank you for being with me until the end. Thank you for opening your heart. Thank you for listening. And now go. Go live what you've heard. Go experience the power of the nighttime Rosary. Go discover the sweetness of sleeping in Mary's arms. And when you see the results, when you feel the difference, when your life has changed, remember to come back here and leave a comment to encourage others. Because testimony is precious. Because your experience can help someone else take the same step. God bless you abundantly. May Mary cover you with her mantle. May Pope John Paul II intercede for you from heaven. And may the Rosary be your light in darkness, your peace in anguish, your joy in pain, your hope in despair. Don't forget, tonight, Rosary in hand. Tonight, prayer to Mary. Tonight, the beginning of a new life. I'll be waiting in the comments to hear how it went. I'll be waiting to read your testimony. I'll be waiting to rejoice together in God's goodness. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being with me. Thank you for opening your heart. Thank you for believing. And now go. Go live all of this. Go experience the power of the nighttime Rosary. Go sleep in Mary's arms. Good night, beloved child. May the Blessed Virgin Mary accompany you in every step of your journey. Amen.